Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing a channeled love letter from your future spouse. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Amethyst heart, along with this letter. Group 2 is the Aventurine heart, along with this letter. And group 3 is the Selenite heart, along with this letter. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Amethyst heart, along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get a feel about what's going on with this person currently, some clues about who they are, some zodiac signs for Group 1. Okay, so we have the 2 of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. 3 of Cups, so more water energy. We've also got the Page of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. 10 of Cups, so more water energy. 5 of Cups, so a lot of water energy for you, Group 1. And we also have Justice, which is Libra. So for some of you with Justice and with the 2 of Cups, this can indicate somebody that you have dealt with in the past, who maybe will be returning with some kind of an apology for you, and that this process of having to kind of go into separation, go your separate ways, to really come down to, you know, this understanding of kind of what brings the 2 of you emotional contentment, what brings you happiness, how that is defined, a coming back to basics almost with that Page of Pentacles that may have been necessary, this feeling of almost you know, loss and mourning and grief that this person has had while in the separation from you, reminiscing on the closeness you once shared, the good times you two once shared together, and a lot of evolution happening through that. Somebody who needed to taste kind of the bitterness of this situation in order to be able to appreciate the sweetness of what they've shared with you in the connection in the past, goes through some kind of an evolution, some kind of an awareness that comes to them, and it's a turning of the page. It's an extension of an apology, a coming back together, seeing eye to eye, where maybe the two of you at one point in time really had trouble kind of reaching a meeting of the minds and determining the pace at which the relationship was developing, or somebody that might have been very indecisive about what they wanted for their future, what they wanted for themselves. Maybe somebody who, with this idea of Three of Cups, had some kind of commitment issues, some sort of fears of settling down or taking that next step, somebody who wanted to, kind of remain with their options open, somebody who may have chosen to almost play the field, or, wanting to date around, kind of ignoring these obvious kind of tugs and nudges within themselves that this connection is very significant. It stands out from, all the rest. But this being a very necessary period and stage of having to kind of explore what else was out there in order to come back to that reality, that contentment and happiness, kind of the beginning and the end with this new moon kind of eclipse here on this Ten of Cups, that it all comes down to what they've experienced with you, this connection really eclipsing all other experiences of romance that they have had before, that they were able to kind of experience subsequent to this connection. And again, some kind of an apology being, extended towards you that really demonstrates some growth and evolution within this person, that then kind of leads the two of you down this path toward, developing that forever relationship with one another. For those of you where this is, and that could be, a high level soulmate, or for some of you, this could even be a twin flame that kind of comes back into your reality. For others of you where this is not somebody from your past, it does feel like this is somebody who has been on some kind of an emotional quest or a journey within themselves. This is currently what's going on for them. They may be coming out of a period of almost a dark night of the soul, where some kind of a heartbreak or a series of disappointments, a series of kind of loss in their life, maybe goals that they'd been working toward that had not really left them with a sense of deep satisfaction. There'd kind of been maybe a history of a lack mentality, or just whatever it was that they were working toward didn't provide them as much long-term contentment as they had hoped. And so this is somebody who almost has kind of, again, gone back to basics. Maybe things have fallen away from their life, or they have made drastic changes in their life and have really just started fresh in a lot of ways. Somebody who has been, at this point in time, is diligently working on planting some new seeds in their life, trying to experience different results, cultivate and capture some kind of joy for themselves, really focusing on self-love and, what kind of lights them up inside. It's maybe somebody who's in this process of kind of cutting away from that which no longer serves them, becoming very honest about the life that they are living and what they've been feeding their attention into. With this idea of justice, this can also be somebody who's working through some karma within their life, some karmic patterns. This can be both positive in terms of sort of the good deeds that they've done, the ways in which they have planted seeds in fertile ground, that it is really paying forth for them in dividends, a lot of emotional happiness they are stepping into, either that they're starting to experience the first trickles of now, or this is the next chapter that they are moving toward, that their hard work, their efforts are starting to pay off. And so there's almost a lightening of their energy out of what might have been kind of a dark or heavy period of time. For other people, this could be somebody who is, still kind of descending into that darkness within themselves, is really having to experience and almost reap the benefits of what they have been investing into. Maybe kind of, toxic patterns, maybe some codependency, some one-sided relationships, or, things that really maybe had material yield for them, but somebody who hadn't really been investing in their emotional well-being up to this point in time, and that they're kind of left, in this stance of loss. They're in this place of having to reap what was sown, having to really recognize that, kind of laying in the bed in which they have made, which is again a very necessary period of time. It's almost the prelude to this hibernation period, where then they are able to really evaluate kind of their pattern of moving through life up to this point. What have they been focusing on? What has been their priority? And anything that doesn't really fit in with kind of a sense of satisfaction, feeling very good about themselves at the end of their day, feeling good about what they have invested in, what they're building, what's germinating in their life. Somebody who can, again, kind of take that period of time to sort of cut away from things, allow things to fall away and leave their life very organically and move in the direction of kind of this journey of self-love, this journey of being very content in their own company, very much coming to terms with sort of the light and shadow aspects of themselves, this balancing of the masculine and feminine polarities, all of this being kind of this necessary prelude, either that they are descending into that darkness within themselves or just starting to kind of reach out of that, just starting to kind of come out of that, come out into the light, and that it will kind of align them with this path where the two of you are then able to intersect, to experience this higher level love connection with each other. A love that is different than the two of you have known previously and with other people. This feels like somebody who, when the two of you do intersect, whether it is, kind of in the immediate future or a little bit further down the road, that you really would have been focused on loving yourselves, getting to know yourself on a deep and intimate level, and really having cleared a path within your own lives for a pretty major paradigm shift, moving out of the energy of doing what you feel you must in the interest of, doing what really, again, makes your soul sing, what brings you that deep sense of joy and contentment within yourself, really coming into alignment with your higher purpose and with your calling. And it is walking this path that allows the two of you to really align with one another. This feels like with this future spouse, that this is somebody that you have a lot in common with. Spiritually, you may have very similar struggles and things that you've overcome emotionally. And so you're really able to empathize with one another. You could have kind of a similar sort of goal or mission or sort of something that you're working toward in your lives together. Maybe this, with this Three of Cups, can have to do with some kind of mutual community that the two of you share, or some way in which your experience, your struggles, you're almost having to descend into that internal darkness in order to really battle and confront some shadows, some grief, some loss, some lack mentality, to transcend these things, shift that perspective, and start to kind of cultivate new experiences for yourselves externally through what you're cultivating within. That this is a shared experience with the two of you, and in some way, whether this is something you directly are helping others with, your story is a testament, the struggles you've been through and how you've overcome this is part of your life's work, or in some way this kind of process of somebody, two people who almost have these very distinct before and after periods, maybe two people who have gone through spiritual awakenings. And so it's something where if this is not directly part of your work or part of some mission work that you feel that you have, in some way it's just what you're cultivating within yourself, the vibration that you hold through this work, through this internal process within yourselves individually. You do have an impact, whether you know it or not, on helping to bring other people into alignment with their higher purpose and calling, helping to activate people to really take that introspective approach instead of looking outside for contentment and fulfillment, to really direct that gaze within and see, what needs to be kind of culled, or what needs to be nourished more in order to create the changes in the external world first within the internal reality. So two people that, are kind of on this process of capturing their own light, recognizing their own light, and allowing that to really shine forth unapologetically into the world. So I'm going to read the channeled love letter from your future spouse's higher self and see what do they want to tell you right now, group 1. You are the best thing that has ever happened to me. Part of me questions if I was even truly alive prior to meeting you. With you, the mysteries of me unfold. I see myself with a different appreciation now. I see myself through your eyes. I want to help you close the door on a lifetime of disappointments in love. I am foaming at the mouth at the thought of anyone who treated you carelessly. I will help you forget all the tears you have cried. Only love now, dear, only love. You need never make believe that crumbs are enough to nourish you. I will ensure that you are never love-starved again. I will fight for this love and will do battle relentlessly with the haunted memories of love gone sour that rattle around in your heart and make you distant. In me, you will find a champion capable of resurrecting your belief in promises that are kept and a love which stays consistent. I want to wash away the strain of feeling you've had to go at it all alone in this life. I will help you to collect instances of joy and will remind you of these things when your faith is wearing thin. Your hand in mine. Never before has there been such a perfect fit. Thank you for encouraging the best of me to shine forth relentlessly. Thank you for encouraging me to take the lead in winning your heart away from the doubts which bind you. So I'm going to close this reading for you with some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got G, E, R, I, T, Q, S, Y, C, L, V, X, M, J, and O. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter, group 1. I hope you enjoyed the messages and that you liked the video. If you liked the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, including video readings, which I now offer, or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer all of those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Aventurine heart along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a feel about what's going on with this person currently, some clues about who they are, some zodiac signs for group 2. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man, which is Pisces. The World, which for me as a reader is fixed energy, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. Also got the Five of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Got the Three of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Eight of Pentacles, so more of that earth energy. And we also have the Knight of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So with the Three of Swords in the world, this is somebody who may be in a process right now of kind of overcoming a major heartbreak, a major loss in their life and love. This could be somebody who has gone through a divorce, is going through a divorce currently, or the dissolution of some kind of a long-term connection, a commitment with somebody, is kind of in the aftermath of that, and is really in the process of kind of repairing their heart, of closing the door on that, of kind of leaving the past behind. This could even be a series of heartbreaks that they've really been holding on to, that they've reached a point of wanting to kind of leave all of this behind. Somebody who, might, with this Hanged Man, through external circumstances that have occurred, they might find themselves with a lot of time on their hands. Maybe something to do even, with work. Either that is their exclusive focus at this point in time, somebody who's not really, dating anybody, again, maybe coming through a divorce, or they've just reached a point in their life where they're wanting to cultivate something different for themselves. They've reached almost a breaking point in terms of, a repetition of heartbreaks, a particular sort of reoccurring series of partners or experiences that they've had in romance, where it's different people, but it's the same archetype showing up again and again, that something has really made sense for this person, that to experience different results, it's going to require change on their part. With this Five of Pentacles, this idea of being very much out in the cold, somebody who is, kind of putting the brakes on from, kind of circling around in the same types of dynamics. Somebody who recognizes change is necessary, and it starts internally within themselves. With this idea of Eight of Pentacles, this can also talk about self-help. Somebody who is maybe learning more about their relationship patterns, maybe some kind of emotional avoidance that has been a theme for them, or kind of a repeating theme of codependency on their part, where they are finding themselves in a position where something really has to give. They can't continue to put themselves through this. They've reached, again, that breaking point, or some kind of an awareness that has come to them, that if they expect change to happen, if they want different results, it's going to start internally within themselves first and foremost. Somebody who is, with this Knight of Cups, really investing in self-love, in kind of healing themselves, breaking out of some patterns and cycles, maybe wounds from childhood that they have been carrying around with them. Kind of this idea with the Three of Swords, pulling these swords out of their own heart, things that may have really been stuck or lingering, these wounds from deep in their past, things they witnessed in their childhood, or even early experiences in love, that it has really started to make sense that they've almost been getting in their own way. They've been keeping themselves trapped in some kind of a cycle. So somebody who is in kind of this, internal, individual energy at this point in time, this being a very necessary growth phase, where on the other side of this, breaking out of these cycles and patterns, closing out some cycles or tendencies within their life with this World card here. This also carries the energy of that new beginning, the Fool being the next card and kind of the major arcana with that. And it really feels that this is almost the closing out of some kind of a chapter, as a prelude to not just a new experience in love and connection, but it really feels almost like a prelude to the two of you intersecting. If this is somebody that in some way is in your life currently, maybe this is somebody you work with that Eight of Pentacles right there. Somebody that you just kind of, maybe you have some kind of a shared community, shared sort of hobby with this person. It doesn't really feel that there's necessarily a romantic component at this point. There may be a little bit of, flirtation or kind of a chemistry between the two of you with that Knight of the Knight of Cups, but it really feels that, you know, this person will kind of open their heart. Their heart's almost closed off to that idea in general. Again, maybe they were in some kind of other partnership or a marriage and it didn't really make this possible. But there's always been kind of this thick chemistry between the two of you, or some sort of a, you know, a suggestion, or you get along really well with each other. You're very, you know, compatible in that sense, but you just haven't opened the door to exploring kind of those romantic feelings or the possibility of that. It feels at this stage that this person is in right now of doing this internal work, going through this process of kind of closing the door on certain things, closing out a certain chapter or an era of their life, or at least if this is something that maybe had ended a while ago, maybe this is just somebody who's been kind of casually dating. They've been coming up at a sense of loss. They've been experiencing a lack of having these almost deep emotional connections with another person. This is somebody who feels very kind of isolated and almost on the outskirts of their own life. And may have really kind of projected blame for quite a while, may have had difficulty sort of looking within, recognizing that, you know, change can occur, but it's usually necessary internally first and foremost in order to kind of ripple out into changes in an environment or in what one is magnetizing in and experiencing. And so sort of this period of almost a person who's been distracted, who has either not been willing or able to kind of explore or invest in the potential that perhaps exists between the two of you, if this is somebody that you know that's already kind of in your life in some capacity, or it's almost a necessary kind of a stepping stone that they need to accomplish in their life in order to ready themselves to be open and available to a healthy and reciprocal, almost a new version, a new dawning of love with you and in this connection. That feels this doesn't feel like somebody from your past returning. This feels that this will be, even if this is someone you know now, that this experience of love that can then lead to marriage, or would lead to marriage, obviously, because this is a future spouse reading, that this would be a new experience for the two of you, but that this person currently is in this stage of doing some cleanup work within themselves, healing or cauterizing some of those wounds within themselves that they've been carrying around, that have almost been operating as kind of wedges or barriers, kind of that blockage within their heart, clearing the space within their own heart, maybe even in the process of kind of going through a heart chakra activation currently. All of this being necessary to kind of clear the path, to pave the way forward to this experience in a love that will work for all of these circumstances and scenarios where things maybe went well but then sort of fell apart, or fell into a rut, or just the same kind of series of sort of toxicity and patterns, the same series of disappointments, all of that currently in real time sort of being worked at, looked at, cleared away, in order for a new chapter to begin, the dawning of a new type of connection, a new experience in love, which is the romance that they will then step into with you after kind of this period of, again, doing this sort of cleansing work, this work of honesty, maybe a lot of tears that are being shed as well. You know, with Five of Pentacles, obviously that's earth energy, but on this card here we see this waterfall, kind of purging that out, getting rid of that idea of this lack mentality, maybe a belief system that they had that they were unlucky in love, and that this has just kind of led them to walking round and round in the same series of almost the self-fulfilling prophecy. Something is really dawning on this person, even subconsciously, that something needs to give, something needs to be cleared away as far as that is concerned, that they're getting in their own way, or they have a tendency to do that, and that through this kind of this phase of purging and setting the stage to really ascend or transcend their belief in what is possible in love, all of this work is very necessary. It's an important foundation that they are laying internally to be able to step in and embody that love, that different type of love than what they have known, and to show up in a very, you know, a very healthy and beautiful and very empowered stance in a connection with you in the future, and kind of this this sort of dreary period that they are in, or this very painful chapter or series of things that they are closing out. Again, it's very necessary to moving them into the vibration of empowerment, so that almost if you two had come together any earlier than you will, it would have been something that would have just fallen into that same kind of pattern of disrepair. This is very necessary, this stage that this person is in. Divine timing definitely at play, but it feels like something something that then in hindsight, the two of you will look back on your lives and kind of the processes that were necessary internally and in your experiences. And you will start to really recognize and appreciate how these heartbreaks and this process of sort of healing from that, working through that and releasing that from yourselves and from your energy was really necessary in order to be able to step into that higher vibration, to learn deeply about oneself in order to, recognize both your flaws and your virtues, to be able to work with one another, in tandem with one another, and, with kind of this recognition and cognizance of your own kind of internal makeup, which then is the makings for a very successful partnership further down the road with each other. So I'm going to read the channeled love letter from your future spouse's higher self and see what do they want you to know right now, group 2. Magic walks this earth. Its name belongs to you. You leave a trail of honeyed stardust wherever you go, which has called to me all these years across the bands of time and space which wrap around our lives. I've always been close by, skating in near proximity to you. I have peered through the cracks in etheric fences at you there, standing in all your unassuming and angelic glory, in the garden you tend and beautify. I watch flowers bend a knee in honor of your holy presence, stretching to life after experiencing the sunshine of your gaze. I have watched you become water and wash away the parched desert sands, the greatest vista of these residing within my own heart. I have approached only to retreat 1,000 times. Part of me has feared that to speak is to send the beauty that I see before me scattering like dandelion petals in the wind. I want to capture your likeness in art, render you from every angle with my hands, to match all the faces of beauty I see emanating from you within my mind's eye, as the light changes and time brings out your deeper and most exquisite qualities. I feel rejuvenated in your presence. You are an elixir to the weight of the world pressing upon me. I will not linger on the outskirts of your life forever. Sooner than you would imagine, the feel of your soft lips pressed against mine for the first time will be a reality. So I'm going to close this reading for you with some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got D, S, U, O, H, M, Q, K, X, G, P, W, B, T, E, A, and N. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter group 2. I hope that the messages and the letter resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, including video readings, which I now offer, as well as personalized channeled love letters, all of those things are available in my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Selenite heart, along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a feel of what's going on with this person currently, some clues about who they are and zodiac signs for Group 3. Okay, so we have the Two of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Two of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Nine of Wands, so more of that fire energy. Also got the Seven of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Two of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And Strength, which is Leo. So there's a lot of energy of balance in all of these cards here with the Two of Pentacles and kind of this idea of somebody who might be juggling some major options or decisions at this point in their life. They might be at a pretty significant crossroads in terms of an opportunity to relocate somewhere, to switch careers, to embark on a particular path or a journey. The decision that they make will be very significant to aligning you into each other's lives. This is somebody who might kind of be at a distance from you, or has almost been in this sort of preparation stage of their life, needing to close out a series of cycles, maybe have some experiences or lessons, things that they may have really been, with the Seven of Swords, kind of avoiding within themselves, a little bit of denial that may have been going on, a little bit of avoidance as well, as far as these major decisions which need to be made, to either perhaps even exit another situation that they are in, or again, some kind of a job that they are in that just is not really making them happy. Maybe it's, paying the bills and it's what other people kind of expect them to do, but there's this higher calling that they have. Strength and courage is really required of this person at this time to really take an honest look at themselves, to kind of move out of that sort of systematic denial that they have been in, to really recognize and balance and really own the light and shadow aspects of self, to somebody who's really kind of taking sort of that wider kind of lens of their life. Where do they see themselves in 5 years, in 10 years? What do they have in their life right now? What are they kind of feeding energy into? What are they participating in? Maybe what are they staying in out of, with this Nine of Wands, this wounded warrior energy, almost this fear Or again, that energy of denial with the Seven of Swords, kind of, moving in a direction that isn't necessarily in accordance with where their heart is calling them, or where their heart is pulling them. But maybe it's things that they are doing because of some expectations placed upon them, or it's almost feels safe, it feels predictable, it's a comfort zone. It's something that is, maybe on paper or very kind of tangibly there are rewards to that, but it's something that doesn't really tap into or near, get very close in proximity to kind of these deeper emotional layers of this person. And they may have just been going through these motions for a period of time, kind of making do, but now there's been almost this higher calling or something activated within them that is just pushing them to kind of widen their perspective, widen their horizons, to want more for themselves. And so a hard look is being taken at what needs to be kind of released. Maybe some people or some circumstances where they need to really use their voice. They need to have courage. They need to stand up for themselves. They need to, proclaim, and even at the risk of disappointing others or experiencing or incurring some kind of a loss in the material world for a period of time. Maybe this will involve some kind of major career shift, choosing to go back to school to learn something new, or to pursue kind of a passion that they have had within themselves. This can even represent, a major life shift, somebody who is going through or has gone through some kind of spiritual awakening, some kind of activation within themselves, where they are feeling more inclined to kind of live a life with purpose, that what they're doing that doesn't really add anything of value and meaning to them on the intangible level, at the soul level. It's something which they feel almost takes away from them. It takes away from their experience and kind of takes them further away from this point of like a path or a higher calling that might not necessarily be so easy to put their finger on. It's almost this intangible thing. It's almost this passion with all that fiery energy. It's what sets their heart on fire. And kind of the more time that goes by in a certain job, living in a certain place, invested in a certain relationship even, that it's almost sapping them. It's almost taking away from them. It's almost leeching the life force energy out of this person slowly over time. And they are at this place where they are recognizing that. They're kind of looking back on their life, and they're seeing how this has been a culmination for some point in time, that the direction they've been heading is kind of moving them further from where they feel internally, this internal call of where they should be. Almost this beacon that they are sensing about their life in general, that in some way correlates with you and with this partnership, this marriage that the two of you are supposed to have, kind of like this holy and divine union that the two of you are supposed to have. This doesn't necessarily seem to be anyone that knows you yet or is in your life. You may be just energetically connecting with this person, but they feel to be at this major crossroads where, again, some kind of a decision is going to be made to leave something behind, to walk away from something, some kind of horizon that they were working toward, one direction that they were heading, and this person really shifting course, changing the direction of their life or their priority or their focus, which at that point in time kind of shifts this pendulum to where the two of you then start to come into alignment with one another. So this is a very crucial kind of period of this person's life of confronting a lot of these fears, a lot of things that they've been in denial about, a lot of things that they've been avoiding. Some unhealed wounds, maybe even kind of these fears of what other people would think, or falling in line with the expectations of others, that had kind of kept them under the thumb, maybe of some kind of family or legacy, or, what society had expected of them, what they felt and had been kind of enculturated to believe was sort of the right and proper way to go through life and to kind of do that. They're really starting to question, even the definition of power and personal wealth. They may have really equated that with kind of material things, and now there's this intangible wealth of the soul that they are placing more value and priority on. This is somebody who's really in this process of, again, kind of using their voice and taking control of their life, making some kind of assertive action, some kind of assertive declaration. The table's really turning for this person. entering a phase where they're really going to be kind of the master of their own destiny, taking charge, taking control to heal themselves. It'll be a very healing experience to, again, perhaps stand up to people directly, or to just really advocate for themselves, to not just allow time to continue to pass with almost these deferred dreams, or this calling that they have, something that's really pulling them in another direction and allowing themselves to be continued to be carried further and further from that. But somebody who really takes the lead, takes charge, and, you know, sort of shifts their circumstances. They go from being somebody who almost feels under the thumb and under the pressure of these internal circumstances, to then they rise above this. Now they are, you know, kind of in control. They are on top. They are taking the lead of their own life. Somebody who may also kind of be in this process of an ascension journey, having undergone some kind of a spiritual awakening that is really, again, provided them with kind of fresh eyes to see that what they had been focusing on and prioritizing has really been diminishing from them. There's a lack of balance in that, and that things need to shift as that internal landscape has shifted and is shifting. Necessarily kind of the external needs to shift as well, things falling away and someone getting ready to make a very major decision that will align them with the two of your paths crossing a little further down the road. So I'm going to read the channeled love letter from your future spouse's higher self now, group 3, and see what do they want to tell you. Our complex, heartbreaking, otherworldly, and hopeful story of love and redemption will inspire the hearts and minds of all who bear witness to us. Our role in this life is simply to love. Through all the pressures and celebratory victories, to carry and feed this light inside of us. We create so much together simply by the power of thought. I'm excited to see where the dreams we share take us, and how the bridge connecting our hearts becomes sturdier with time. I have missed you over the last few lifetimes. Let's make up for lost time here and now. They speak of heaven as a destination. I know it to be a reward in the here and now, which surges through me every time I look into your eyes. We belong to each other, and there is such freedom in this notion that is unmatched by even my years of solitude and autonomy. You are the friend I have always been seeking, the lover who truly perceives me, the rock who keeps me grounded and in my purpose when the questions and doubt begin to babble within my own mind. You're my motivation and my muse, and you help to activate parts of me that were unreachable and unknown before. Together, anything is possible. Let's make this lifetime one for the books. Let's enjoy this profound love story like never before. So I'm going to close this reading for you, group 3, with some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got C, N, B, P, W, Q, Z, F, V, K, H, X, J, T, R, O, and Y. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter, group 3. I hope that the messages and the letter resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, including video readings, which I now offer, or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer all of these things through my Etsy shop, and there is a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.